to get out your journal. All right. So I hope that everybody is doing well. I came on today because I wanted to check in and see how everybody's doing with those New Year's resolutions. Um, so I wanted to check in and see how everybody's doing with those New Year's resolutions. Let me see if I can go back. So I did my Advent journaling and I wrote some New Year's resolutions down and I wanted to go back over them and then talk a little bit about setting smart goals, because setting smart goals are really, really important. That's how you get through the New Year's resolutions and different things like that. I am a firm believer that for New Year's resolutions to actually work out, you have to build on the old resolutions that you already had. So the New Year's resolutions I've been pondering and thinking about and I think I've mentioned some of them before, but it's, trying to work. So I run my own business. I am a licensed professional counselor and I run my own private practice. And so working for me has kind of looked like having time during the daytime where there are a lot fewer clients. And then in the evenings, like between, let's say, 4 p.m. to I take my last client at 7 p.m. That time is usually full. Like it is completely booked. It is completely full. And it makes sense because a lot of people want to do therapy after they get off work, or they want their kids to do therapy when they get home, after school and things like that. I do have one or two people sprinkled throughout the day, but majority of my clients are in the evenings. Now, what I noticed from last year, which is something that I'm planning to do this year, is to not take anybody at 8 o'clock, because at 8 o'clock I'm done. Like by the time I get through the 7 to 8 o'clock appointment, I'm done. Like I'm just done. Like it just doesn't work out. Like my brain is done. I have chronic back pain, so my back is done. It's just done by that time. And so I am not taking clients starting at 8 o'clock. Now that is, I guess I could actually write that down. But I do have like a resolution for my schedule. But anyway, for one of the things that I want to try to do is to work half day Fridays. So far, I don't think that's going to work out because of the way that my clientele is. I don't think that that's going to work out. So I might have to choose to do a half day on another day. So again, with New Year's resolutions, you have to be able to say what is actually what's actually going to work out for you, and not make resolutions that are not going to work out. So I think I'm going to need to change that half day Friday because the way that I see my schedule working out, I might have to do, today is a Tuesday and I do have most of the morning off on Tuesdays. Usually it's been kind of consistent that way. I do mentor. And so I go and see my mentee on Tuesday mornings. I mentor through the school. And when you mentor through the school, you have to you have to see your mentee in the school. Like you can't, they don't encourage seeing them outside of the school, which, kind of works out pretty well. And so I mentor on Tuesday mornings. And so I might need to change that and say I work half days on Tuesdays and things like that. So when you're making your New Year's resolutions, you have to be realistic. You have to be very, very realistic on what you're going to be able to do and not able to do in order to, get through these resolutions, right? So being realistic, I think, is one of the biggest points. I want to build a course this year. I'm not sure exactly what the course will entail, but I want to build a course for teens. There are a lot of things that are marketed for adults. I want to build a course for teens, and I want there to be the ability for people to do like a home study type course, but I also want it to be live. I want to have an opportunity to do a live course. And so I'm thinking that this would be something where I can either build it and do it during a holiday when kids are home and they have a lot of free time, or if I can build it between now and the summer, I can build it and then do a live session of it during the summer, and then also have parents can purchase it for their kids, and they can do it during the school year or something like that. But I would really like for it to have a live component. But yeah, so I want to build a course this year. I want to do more exercise. So when I was thinking about doing the half day Fridays, that was part of the plan, is to get some exercise in during that time that I'm off, that I give myself off. So if I'm going to lean towards the Tuesdays, what I can do is I can do two resolutions in one day, which is dress dress for exercise, um, and then go and see my mentee, sorry, in the morning. And then as soon as I'm done, because it's like you when with the way that the volunteer is set up in my school district, the volunteering is set up, it's 45 minutes to an hour. And so I can definitely see her in the morning, which I see her in the morning anyway. I can see her in the morning, and then there's a park that's really not too far away from the school, and it's not too far away from my house either. And so I can go and see her, drive to the park, get a walk in, and then come home and get ready for the rest of the day. And so I'm thinking that that's how that's going to work. And so at least I can get some exercise in on Tuesday. Um, and it can be very, very convenient, and I will have very little excuses to make. That's the biggest thing when it comes to exercise. I have all these excuses that I can make. But when it comes to exercise, I can when it comes to exercise, I can, yeah, that's how I can do it on Tuesday. So at least during the week, I will have like that Tuesday, if I decide to move my half day to Tuesday, which I think it's pretty solid that I will, then I can get some exercise done on Tuesday. I need to find one other day during the week that I can get some exercise in, and then I can definitely get some exercise in on Sunday. Um, because I'm free on Sunday. I work from 10 to 1 ish on Saturdays. And so I can definitely do like a Tuesday. Maybe I can find something on Thursday, and then do a Sunday. So that would be 3 days during the week where I'm getting some exercise in, and things like that. So there can be 3 days during the week that I can get some exercise in, and that would be good. Um, I want to add some more meditation time to my schedule. And so that one I know that I can definitely do in the evenings. When I'm done with work in the evenings, um, before I go and eat dinner and start watching TV and things like that, I can get some meditation time in. What I have noticed is that trying to say I'm gonna eat, watch TV, and then get some meditation time in before bed doesn't work out, because I'm a TV watcher, and the know thyself is very, very important. So know thyself. Knowing myself, I want to go till the last second before I have to go to bed when I'm watching TV. And so I need to get that meditation time in before I watch TV. I was also thinking about doing an evening where I don't watch any TV and I read, because I have really slacked off on reading and I miss reading. But if I watch, like, again, I can't watch TV and say I'm going to pause my watching TV and then read or meditate and then go to bed. It just doesn't work out that way. So I would have to say, okay, I'm going to read a chapter and then I watch TV. Maybe that, something I could do. So do some meditation, read a chapter, and then watch some TV at the end of the evening. So as you can see, with setting these New Year's resolutions, in order for them to stick and in order for them to work, you have to play around with it a little bit, explore, experiment, and things like that with yourself to see how this will work out. One of the other things that I've wanted to do, and I've seen that is needed, is a respite center for the for children and their families, and these are children, teens, adolescents who struggle with behavior. So they struggle with their behavior. They have high emotions. These are the kids who are explosive, or they're struggling in school because of their mental health and things like that. There needs to be some kind of respite for them and their families. And when I say for them and their families, for the kids, it would be, the respite center would look something like a mental health spa. So it would be a place where they can go, where they can learn and focus on meditation skills. They can focus on exercise. They can focus on doing things that are creative for them. So there would be in my imagination, this is what it looks like. It looks like parents, coming, and they would drop off their children. And there would be rooms, separate rooms. So in one room, it would be exercise. In another room, it would be meditation. In another room, it would be some kind of game, some type of game system thing. And I'm thinking more board games rather than, because kids have enough time at home to play their video games. So I'm thinking more board games, and yoga and all of those things. So the kids would come in and they would get that done, and then the parents would have the opportunity to do parenting groups, but then also have the opportunity to use that night for date nights. So that would be a time when they do date nights, they do gaming with their friends, they do whatever it is that they want to do. But it would probably be like 4 hours, maybe. They can come drop off their kids for about 4 hours, or I don't know how long would be reasonable. That's kind of something I'd have to plan out. But I want to plan out that respite center because I want to give myself maybe like a 3 to 4 year plan to get it done. It would most probably need to be a nonprofit. And so that's another thing, because when you're trying to open a nonprofit, you need to have people around you that are supportive, but also people around you that want to be a part of the board and things like that. That's, I think, one of the things that would be the most challenging. If it's not going to be a nonprofit, then it would be a for-profit, but then that would really limit the population of the families that I would be able to do this with. That would really limit it, because something like this would cost quite a bit. The cost would be high, because you have to have the rent that you're paying out for this space. Then you would need to have the staff, right? And that's where most of the expense would go to. It would go to rent. It would go to staff. You would have to have trained staff that would be able to work with the kids, that would be able to help teach the kids the meditation, that would be able to help the kids, deal with learn to deal with their emotions and different things like that. And so the staff would need to be well trained and therefore well paid. And so I can't imagine that, and it would not be something that I would just jam-pack kids in there. It would be very thoughtful. And so I can't imagine that it would be for profit, there's a way it might be for profit, but I'm thinking more nonprofit, so that a variety of families can, from all demographics, especially socioeconomic status, would be able to access it. So that would be part of the planning. So that's the planning phase of what I'm thinking. Um, I want to go camping, and this would be. I haven't been to a lot of national parks. We have a lot of city parks where I am, but those are like the city parks where there's like no camping, and you can't do anything overnight necessarily in those parks. It's just really, a space where you can go. You can be among you can be among the trees. They have ponds, and there's a park not too far away from me where people can actually go fishing and things like that. But I want to go to a national park where I can actually overnight camp, and things like that. I want to do more social activities. So at least one social activity a month. Know thyself. I can only handle about one social activity a month, and things like that. So I've already knocked it out for this month. So that's good for the month of January. This is January. So I've already knocked that out for January. I'm not saying I can't do more than one, but I want to do at least one. And then I want to, in my professional life, I want to gain more knowledge about DBT therapy, improve my certifications and different things like that. And so these are the New Year's resolutions that I've thought about so far. I'm gonna use the month of January and February to kind of, get through the final stages of resolving, of deciding which one of these resolutions, or how clearly I want to write out these resolutions, and things like that. So thinking of these resolutions, there are, to make them stick and make them more doable, there are SMART goals that I'm going to be writing for the New Year's resolutions. And let me see if I can go to the SMART goals page, just so I can run through what SMART goals are. The acronym is SMART, so SMART, and the S in SMART is for specific. The M is for measurable. The A is for achievable. The R is for relevant, and the T is for time sensitive. One of the things that's the most important with the SMART goals is that time sensitive part of it. Actually, each part is very, very important, but the time sensitive and especially the measurable. So you're not just throwing these goals up in the sky and not revisiting them, not checking in with yourself, and things like that. It allows you to hold yourself very much accountable for these goals and things like that. So I hope that I'm going to, stop here. And so I hope that you guys are looking through your New Year's resolutions. You're giving yourself the chance to dig through them and see how it feels. You're also giving yourself a chance to revisit them and things like that, as well as thinking about how you're going to make these goals smart. So we're going to talk about SMART goals the next time that I come on and things like that. So I hope that you guys are looking through your New Year's resolution. You're making them realistic. You're giving yourself a chance to mull them over, chew them over, see how well they will work for you. Also building on past resolutions and things like that. So I look forward to hearing what your New Year's resolutions are. Please leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all later. All right, take care of yourselves.